Hey Dirt Magicians, 'tis the season of warm teas and cozy soups. And today you're gonna join me on brewing a tea for the first time that I've never brewed from a plant I can guarantee grows in your backyard. And that is dandelion. Last year, Dee and I started our herbal medicine journey, and we studied with a Métis herbalist named Lori Snyder, who taught us that the entire dandelion plant is edible, it's full of nutrients, and it has a ton of medicinal health benefits. In fact, some of these health benefits are actually being studied in university. So today, we're gonna make a tea out of the roots together, and I've done a deep dive in the research on the tastiest way to do this, and also to share some of these cool facts about the health benefits you'll get from drinking it. Just a quick note, our mission on this channel is to help you learn from other gardeners, i.e. dirt magicians, by peeking over their garden fence. So let us help you learn from peeking over the fence. And today, we're peeking into my immaculately clean kitchen that always looks this way, just this clean all the time. So before we actually go out and harvest dandelion, there's a few considerations around the location and the time of year that we want to harvest. When we are considering the location, there's a few things we want to avoid. Firstly, busy roads, because the exhaust from traffic going by can contaminate the dandelion itself and go into the roots, etc. and we don't want to ingest that. Secondly, places where a lot of people are walking their dogs, because likely they're going to be peeing on the dandelion and we don't really want to be eating that either. You could go to a city park, however my recommendation is to make sure you check your city's bylaws, as some places will spray their parks with herbicide and we don't want to be ingesting those either, and they're spraying herbicide for dandelion if they're doing it. The best place would actually just be your own yard. But I went out to a park that I knew was not being sprayed, and I feel pretty good about the harvest I got. The second consideration, now that we kind of know what we want to think about with location, is the timing. So the best time to harvest the root is either in the spring or the fall, just because there's a lot more water in the roots, it's a lot juicier. And the fall is especially great because it's high in inulin, which is great for producing gut bacteria, which helps with our digestive systems. Well, it's a beautiful fall day, so let's go out and harvest some roots. I'm just gonna get changed into my digging clothes.
So for the roots, you're gonna want a big shovel just because they go in quite deep, and you usually be finding packed soil, so you really wanna dig in there. And I wanna use my whole body for this. I like to put it at an angle so that I can dig down and then sort of leverage up the roots like that. And it's quite packed in here. Yeah. We got a big chunkin' root.
All right, so now we're back with my harvest. I'm not gonna lie, it was pretty time consuming, and I think I'm only gonna get like 1 cup of tea out of this, because sometimes you go to dig a root and it breaks right away and you just end up with this. So there's just probably honestly like 20 dandelion plants, so hopefully it's worth it. Let's find out. The next step now is to prepare this to be able to go into the oven. So we're gonna take off all of the leaves and wash all of the dirt off of these roots and then do a bit of peeling. Now that I've separated the leaves from the roots and I've washed them as best I can, we're going to peel the dandelion root. So because we're going to be roasting these roots, we actually want to peel them beforehand so that none of these sort of small rooty things or any dirt is gonna burn when we go to roast it. This took 20 minutes just to peel, and that's just the peeling. Then there's the washing, then there's the 20 minutes of harvesting. No wonder this is so expensive when you go to the grocery store. It's so much work, I'm not gonna lie. It's gonna have to taste like butterflies. I don't know, something tasty for me to ever do this again. I'm gonna give it one last rinse because my hands were still dirty when I was peeling because there was still dirt on it. All right, so now that it's washed and peeled, while I was doing that, I actually had preheated my oven to 350 degrees. We're gonna put it between 15 to 20 minutes. A lot of these are quite skinny, so I'm just gonna be really mindful about them burning. So I'm gonna check on them quite frequently. I'm just gonna lay them out on my pan, spread them out, and I'll set a timer. So while we're waiting for the dandelion to roast, I'm just gonna start boiling water to make the tea. A lot of people suggest grinding it and making it a coffee, but because we got so few roots out of this, I think we're gonna get more bang from our buck if we steep it like a tea. So while we're waiting for the dandelion root to roast, I want to talk about some of those health benefits I had previously mentioned. Firstly, dandelion is full of a lot of nutrients. It's got iron, vitamin C, beta carotene, and it's also really high in inulin, which I previously mentioned, which is helpful for promoting healthy gut bacteria. Secondly, it also helps with bile production in our stomachs. So once again, another check for the digestive system being aided with dandelion. The other interesting fact about it is it's actually currently being studied at the University of Windsor for some anti-cancer properties. At least in a petri dish, the dandelion root itself will target cancer cells over healthy cells. So they're trying to figure out right now whether we can take that to humans and it could potentially be an anti-cancer treatment in the future. It's ready. It also smells so good. So let's pull it out and take a look. All right, so now that it's roasted, we're just gonna pop all of these roots right into the water here. I'm gonna add a little bit of cinnamon and we'll let it steep. So now that we've pulled this right out of the oven, we're going to steep it for the next little bit. Well, I think the tea looks about ready to go. It's been steeping for between 5 to 10 minutes, so let's give it a try. All right, it's time to give it a go. It smells really nice. It smells quite nutty. It's pretty hot, but I've been letting it cool for a little bit, so let's see how it goes. It's kind of got like a nice creamy, nutty flavor. It's slightly bitter at the end. I feel like it'd be really good if I added some milk and honey to it. So yeah, it's not bad. Yeah, it gets better. Okay, so was this worth making? I'm not really sure. If I'm really bored, sure. But this was probably an hour and a half's worth of work for like 1, maybe 2 cups of tea. If it's gonna cure cancer for me at some point later in the future, then absolutely, but we're not there yet. So I'm not sure that I would do this again. Well, Dirt Magicians, that's the end of our video. If you learned something valuable, steep that subscribe button and like the video, as it helps up and coming content creators like us, and you'll stay up to date on all things edible growing in your garden. See you next time.